Hey, what is this?
Helicopter.
A helicopter? What does it do?
The tiny bit.
The propeller spins.
Yeah.
Wow. I had a very easy pregnancy. I wasn't sick. There was never any indication something might be wrong. I was in labor most of the day, and I delivered him around 5 o'clock that Sunday night. Right before the nurse handed him to me, she kind of stopped and she looked down and she said, I think we need to wait a second because I think his fingers are starting to turn blue. That's when they said, maybe we need to take him down to the nursery. So they just left with him. I was mad. I mean, I felt like I had done everything right the whole time I was pregnant. I read all the books and took all the vitamins, and I was supposed to have a baby that there wasn't anything wrong with, and there was something wrong with him. They were able to get him off the oxygen pretty early on, but he had to stay in the NICU an extra day because of the jaundice. So they had him under, I called it the tanning bed. He stayed in the tanning bed upstairs. It was just hard because, we knew something was wrong, but he didn't look like anything was wrong. They told us that it was a condition called Double Outlet Right Ventricle. It's about 6 months, they did a new echo, and then we went in the next week, and that's when they told us that he was going to have his surgery.
Griffin was born with an abnormal heart, and we weren't aware of that before his birth. Instead of having one big artery come out of one side of the heart and one big artery come out of the other side of the heart, it appeared that both of the vessels were coming out of the same chamber, which was causing a strain on the heart and an abnormal way for the blood flow to go through the body.
That first day, that day to me was worse than any other day we were there. Any person in the hospital that might see your child, you have to talk to that group of people, and they have to tell you every single thing that could possibly go wrong. And I mean, it was a lot of things that could go wrong. Griffin was exhausted, and then they wanted to take blood, and yeah.
He's just like a normal kid, didn't like getting poked.
They have little waiting rooms down there that, like, for the families that are in surgery.
I had the whole family camped out in there for about 5 hours. It's kind of emotionally draining.
I mean, there were machines everywhere, and he had stuff everywhere. And he had his little incision, you could see it, and it was hard.
I'm used to seeing patients that way and stuff like that, but it was hard for me seeing my son, a child, sitting there.
I had the unique opportunity. It's a really cool task to get him stable. For the first few hours, he was still on morphine, and he pretty still recovering from anesthesia. But he was a fighter. He was a really strong little boy. Recovered very quickly.
So my mom and I stayed down there with him that night, and then the next day they said, if you don't have any problems in 24 hours, you can go home. So that's what we did. He's just like any other kid.
He's been full throttle ever since surgery.
He rode 21 miles on his bicycle from Thursday to Saturday of last week. He will literally run laps around the top of the clinic, and they'll say, what is he here for? And I'm like, oh, we have to see cardio. And people will just look at me like I'm crazy. This does not slow him down. The American Heart Association has provided constant research to where things are getting better all the time. And because of that, the kids are so much better long term than they would have been in the past.
Their ability to thrive.